for the Trump Organization wrote in an emailed statement, neither President Trump, his family, nor the Trump Organization plays any role in selecting, directing, or approving specific investments. Joining me now is Tim O'Brien, senior executive editor for Bloomberg Opinion and author of Trump Nation. He's an MS Now political analyst. Tim, let's start there. Neither President Trump, his family, nor the Trump Organization plays any role in selecting, directing, or approving specific investments. So end of story. No more questions needed, right?
Right. I mean, even if we stopped there and said, OK, they're telling us the truth. There's the curious reality, however, that while those trades were being made, there were policy decisions coming out of Washington and the White House that directly affected the profitability and the prospects of the companies whose stocks the Trump family was trading. That's another layer of this that makes their argument that they had nothing to do with the decision-making around these trades suspect, as it would when we learned that, floods of trades on oil came into various markets around the globe and into prediction markets prior to developments in Venezuela and in Iran, which all hinged on people having access to information from the Trump White House. J.D. Vance got on a mic about when he was asked in a news conference about these trades and laughed about it. And he said, come on, do you think Donald Trump sits in his home, sits in the White House with a computer and is just trading stocks, thousands of trades a day? He probably isn't. That's what he pays other people to do.
He's on Truth Social.
He's on Truth Social, and often he's tweeting things that affect the value of the stocks he's trading or his representatives are trading. So no one is saying that he's on Vanguard or any other app trading stocks for the fun of it and for his own, financial gain. He's obviously doing it through advisors. But the timing of these trades, the stocks involved, and the policy decisions happening in Washington had a confluence that makes it very suspect and should be examined. Unfortunately, here's the other wrinkle, Antonia. The entities that would have to investigate that also report into Donald Trump. The Security and Exchange Commission, for example. So he's got every piece of this pie covered. And anyone else doing this would be investigated flat out simply to clear it up. And the ethical president wouldn't do it to begin with. I've been a business journalist for decades. I don't own individual stocks for the simple reason that I don't want someone to say, I edited a story or wrote a story about a business because I had a financial interest. My colleagues do the same thing. If Barack Obama had picked up $5 on a street corner, the Republicans would have investigated him the next day. And why aren't they raising alarms about all of this stuff, from the reflecting pool to the jet, to his trades, to his cryptocurrency dealings? Donald Trump has made more money in 2 years in the White House over a 2-year span than he ever did in decades as a real estate developer, because he's grifting off of his position in the White House.
You know, Tim, it seems sometimes like part of the strategy here is to be so overt that it's therefore hidden in plain sight.
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
Tim O'Brien, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, Antonia. Thanks for having me.
Coming up, data centers are bringing big money and big problems to communities all across the country.